Hey everybody, in the wake of the Skyline shooting, I'm going to emphasize a direction that the city of Oakland needs to take. Mayor Thao has to stop focusing on the idea that the Oakland A's are going to stay here, and she's made it clear herself by her actions, not retaining Howard Terminal project manager, basically playing publicity games, taking items of fact and mixing them with items of fantasy and trying to keep alive the idea that the A's did something wrong to Oakland, rather than Oakland not holding up its share of the bargain in terms of the process necessary to finish the Howard Terminal Ballpark project, or I should say really get it started. All that needs to go away. It's not working. And it's clear that all the smoke and mirrors that Mayor Thao has tried to throw up to make it seem like there's a there has all gone away, and there is no there. So what do we need to do? We need to finish what we started when we built the Oakland Marriott Convention Center. We need to build at Howard Terminal a state-of-the-art, world-class, 600,000 to 1 million square foot convention center. And there's a very simple reason. Because the East Bay does not have a convention center of that size available. Particularly one that's within a relatively reasonable drive of Oakland Airport. Where you would say the Oakland Airport Business Park should be the area that's cited. Well, assemble the land. Howard Terminal provides the best opportunity for us to have that convention center and hotels. 1,000 room hotel right next to it, along with offices and less offices, but more live workspaces, rounding out a total development of $1.5 billion. Well, you would say, how do we pay for that? And I would say that instead of doing the standard Howard Terminal only tax increment zone, we need to make the Howard Terminal district of Jack London Square. It would be tourist-based anyway. We might as well just go the next step. I know the city had this idea that, hey, if we add another or have one giant, or as they saw it, two enhanced infrastructure financing districts, it would take money from the general fund. But I don't buy that for this reason. Oakland is enormous. We're talking about, at best, 200 acres of land that's devoted to the collection of property tax revenue to be applied to an increment, in tax increment financing way. So we could take the hotels and use a percentage of the net operating income, bond that as a private activity bond of some design, and then the total value of the hotels and the other development will produce the tax increment over a 45-year period that would allow us to build the convention center. In other words, the developments around the convention center, including the hotels could throw off $400 million, and then we could gain an additional $600 million from the tax increment revenue stream, assuming 4% rate of growth in assessed value over a 45-year period, and knowing that we need $53 million to retire the current downtown development bonds. If we go that route, we can do this. It would give us, and I believe we should partner with the hotel chain as well. It would give us the and of course, housing developer. But it would give us a true new area down there that's part of the maritime operation. It uses the maritime operation in a sense as a tourist attraction. And we could take the other part of that development and give a gift to the maritime community. For example, a truck stop. I haven't yet costed this out, or let me be more clear. I haven't sat down to calculate in detail how the revenue spread would look. But as I created in my mind, it's workable. Because you would ask, well, how are we going to pay for, of course, this convention center? And I'm saying that a combination of revenues derived from the net operating income of the hotels and the tax increment, as well as the sales tax that's generated from those operations within that district, would be enough to do that with a pass-through. What I want is money left over, and that's why I want that area. In other words, I don't want just the 55 acres of Howard Terminal. I want the Jack London neighborhood to be a contributor. Okay. So essentially the money from the Jack London neighborhood would pay for the convention center in addition to the net operating income from the hotels. Once we get that $400 million from the hotel net operating income, it would be able to go on and collect its standard revenue stream well years after that. The reason why I know that is I came up with that financing idea to build a stadium for the Raiders. So I know that it will work. The city itself will contribute $150 million out of the general fund. So we can do this. We can do this. I know we can do this. In fact, as I think about it, that type convention center cost of construction, so, totally, it's a 450-seat theater with 3,000 square feet of meeting space is 34 to 47 million. So that's a drop in the bucket. I'm not talking about anything like that. I'm talking about something like 1 million square feet. Cost of construction for $1 million. For 1 million, and I'm doing this off the top, of course, 1 million square foot shopping center. Okay, so we're looking at in that area, it's 301, 401, something like that. What would the cost be? You've got Terre Haute, Indiana Convention Center is $30 million. That's it. We're not talking about a stadium, right? We're talking about something that is less to do. Here's another one. There's another one here. That's the Las Vegas Caesars Forum was $375 million. Here's a good rule of thumb. Caesars Forum in Las Vegas was $375 million. That's 550,000 square foot convention center. Has a total of 300,000 square feet of meeting space. That's perfect for what I'm talking about. That's perfect. So for us, that would clock in at roughly $500 million. Now, that's not money that the tax increment would generate because it would be owned by the public. So we have to generate revenue around it and within it to pay for itself. That's what we have to do. So it would be a combination of the sales taxes generated within it, so it pays for itself, the net operating income from the hotels, which would be privately financed by the hotel. We don't need the whole percentage of net operating income, just about 40% of that. The rest can go for the hotel. And then the tax increment from the area. So the tax increment from the area alone, if we gather together the equivalent of $2 billion in total assessed value base year, that alone would give us $1.6 billion. So I've done the math for that for Howard Terminal already, right? So we can take that and then add the city's direct contribution. So we still have to do the sea level rise, which could be gathered from that. And then the $400 million produced from the net operating income draw. And boom, we're looking at, voila, we're looking at $2 billion in revenue, of which we only need 600 million, 550 million, 600 million, in our case, $600 million to build the convention center. That's it. That's it. So the money is there. And we built the public financing authority and the infrastructure financing plan. Maybe we could share part of that for affordable housing in East Oakland and for Coliseum City. But Coliseum City can be its own enhanced infrastructure financing area. All right. So there's how that lays out. There is the beginnings of my grand plan. We need a grand plan. We need a vision to get us out of this. Because right now, we're stuck. We're quite literally stuck. Hearing about crime all the time. No obvious movement on Coliseum City or anything. The A's moving out to join the Raiders in Las Vegas. The Warriors already in San Francisco. Oakland Panthers became the Bay Area Panthers. There's no sign that they're coming back. What is there? This is a matter of civic pride as much as anything else. All right. All right, subscribe to Zenny62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnowblog.com. I'll see you. Love to know what you think. More coming.